A creepy carnival with real monsters rolls into a small town, but the problem is, the witches, zombies, and clowns here are way too real. Turns out some attractions don't just take your ticket, they take your soul. In the small American town of Danfield, everyone is gearing up for Halloween. A blonde girl stomps on a pumpkin in disgust. She clearly hates the holiday. Suddenly her eyes change and she runs off into the woods. Soon after, she transforms into a monster. A year later, the same town is hosting its festive Halloween fair. All the locals are there, including two guys named Kellen and Luke, best friends. They're waiting for their girlfriends, Beth and Nicole. At the fair, there's a contest called Knock Down the Witch. Kellen admits to Luke that he's been in love with Beth for years and plans to tell her his feelings today. Soon, Beth and Nicole join them. The guys give them cute symbolic Halloween gifts. The mayor of Danfield welcomes everyone to the annual Halloween festival. His assistant invites the crowd to join the dance contest. Participants have to dance while dressed as different Halloween characters, and the judges score their performances. Everyone's having fun dancing like zombies and skeletons trying to win. Beth spots a really hot guy nearby and starts dancing even more energetically. At one point, she trips and falls right at the feet of a creepy man in a tall black top hat. He introduces himself as Dr. Hysteria and says he's brought a real carnival to town. This show is perfect for anyone who loves nightmares. Dr. Hysteria invites the townspeople to visit his Hall of Horrors. He hands out a stack of invitation flyers and rides off with his assistant in a carriage pulled by a black horse. Our heroes decide they absolutely have to check out this mysterious show. Later, Kellen tries to confess his love to Beth, but he just can't find the courage. That evening, Beth is doing homework and watching the news. It turns out a girl named Andrea Payton mysteriously disappeared in this town a year ago. Her family still hasn't found her, but keeps hoping for a miracle. The next day, a shiny new car pulls up at the school. Out steps the guy who caught Beth's eye. His name is Hunter, and he asks Beth out on a date. She agrees, but only if he comes with them to the Hall of Horrors. Hunter and Beth walk off together, and Kellen is super jealous. Luke tries to cheer him up. A sad Kellen wanders around and ends up near Dr. Hysteria's Hall of Horrors. There, he meets the doctor's pretty assistant, Lilith. She hears about his romantic fail and advises him to make Beth a little jealous. Evening falls. The whole town is soaking up the Halloween vibe. Luke and Kellen love this holiday. Soon, they meet up with Nicole, Beth, and Hunter, and the group heads into the Hall of Horrors together. Lilith appears and warns them. Don't feed the zombies, don't touch the werewolves, and don't look the witches in the eyes. They get special stamps on their hands and are let inside. Inside, everything looks terrifying and creepy. All the actors are trying to scare our heroes. Beth is genuinely frightened, but Hunter doesn't seem scared at all.
Quiet down, I'm trying to sleep.
Soon, they reach the zombie boulevard. The actors here look especially horrifying. Some offer brains on a stick. Others are in zombie school. Kellen asks Beth to talk to him alone. He wants to know how she feels about Hunter. Beth refuses to answer. Kellen walks away, leaving Beth alone. She wanders down a corridor and overhears a vampire and a zombie talking. They mention that one particular door must never be left open. Of course, now Beth really wants to open it. She sneaks into the actor's dressing room, and they immediately chase after her. Beth hides. Now she's not so sure these are just actors, because the zombies find a real rat and eat it. Beth throws on a black cloak and pretends to be one of the staff. She slips past a group of monsters while others scare the remaining visitors. The show ends, and people exit the attraction. Everyone's thrilled by how scary and realistic it was. Soon Beth runs out of the Hall of Horrors. She finds Hunter, and they leave together. At home, Beth searches online for info about Dr. Hysteria's horror show. She suspects it's connected to the girl's disappearance last year. A gloomy Kellen is walking the streets. Lilith catches up to him on a motorcycle. She offers him a job with them and drives him home. Beth peeks out her window and sees Kellen with Lilith. The girl kisses him on the cheek and rides off. Beth can't wash off the stamp they put on her hand at the horror show, and she's starting to have hallucinations. The next day, Beth tells Kellen what she saw inside, but of course, he doesn't believe her. Hunter, on the other hand, promises to help and drives her in his fancy car back to the Hall of Horrors. Kellen is really jealous of his friend. He stays home, strumming his guitar. Luke calls and suggests hanging out, but Kellen is in a terrible mood and rudely turns him down. Luke spots someone selling his favorite churros. He chases after them and sees it's the owner of the horror show. Dr. Hysteria gives Luke a churro, invites him inside, and hints that his friends are jealous of him because he's the funniest and most talented guy in the group. The man leads Luke to a small theater and shows him a video of himself. He could become a famous comedian with his stand-up routines. Luke's eyes light up with excitement. He forgets everything he just saw and heard. Meanwhile, Kellen is still moping over Beth. He gets a message from Nicole inviting him to the horror show with her, but Kellen turns her down too. Behind Nicole, Dr. Hysteria appears and says Kellen doesn't appreciate her enough. He invites her through the VIP door. There, the sneaky owner shows Nicole a video where she's a queen and her friends are her personal slaves. Nicole's eyes flash brightly and she instantly forgets everything. Nicole exits the attraction and accidentally runs into Luke. They both pretend not to notice each other. While another show is going on in the Hall of Horrors, Beth and Hunter try to find something suspicious. They hear strange noises and discover a room with only an old cabinet labeled Cabinet of Souls. Beth opens it and sees tons of people inside. She steps in and the door locks behind her. Everyone looks hypnotized and unresponsive. All their watches are stopped at midnight. Beth finds the missing girl Andrea among them. The door opens again and a bunch of monsters enter. They ignore Beth and merge with the hypnotized people. As the doors start closing, Beth jumps out just in time. Hunter is waiting for her. Dr. Hysteria appears behind him. He says the Cabinet of Souls is his new attraction, but it's not finished yet. Hunter drives Beth home and admits he doesn't believe her scary story, but he loves it and will keep helping her. At home, Beth keeps researching the Hall of Horrors. She goes to Kellen's place and finds Lilith there. Dr. Hysteria's assistant shows off one of her tricks. Kellen is amazed, but Beth isn't impressed at all. Lilith hands Beth an orange, gently strokes Kellen's cheek, and leaves. Beth tries to explain to Kellen that something's wrong with this horror show, but he won't listen. Later that night, Beth hears Dr. Hysteria's voice and the missing girl's voice in her head. During the day, the owner enters the Cabinet of Souls and says it's time to eat. He feeds on bits of the prisoner's souls and announces new souls are arriving today. So all the monsters head out to work. At school, Beth finds Nicole and sees her friend has completely changed. She looks like a real witch. Meanwhile, Lilith shows up at school to pick up Kellen for a job interview with Dr. Hysteria. They ride off to the Hall of Horrors in a dark carriage. Beth spots Luke at school. He's acting different too. He does a full stand-up routine during break, but his jokes are way too mean. He acts like a crazy clown, and within minutes, actually turns into a real clown. But Luke loves it. This is exactly what he dreamed of. He even does cartwheels in excitement. Beth enters the classroom and sees Nicole painting her nails black and glaring at her with hatred. The teacher reminds everyone it's Halloween tonight and notes that Luke and Kellen are absent. Nicole looks even scarier. Then she storms out of class and doesn't come back. Meanwhile, Luke rushes to the horror show, and Dr. Hysteria orders his helpers to give the new clown a fresh costume. Back at school, Beth worries about Nicole and leaves class too. In the hallway, a real witch attacks her. It's almost impossible to recognize Nicole. She throws Beth to the floor and runs off. Beth tells the police everything, but of course no one believes her. Still, they have to check. So the local sheriff goes to Dr. Hysteria and asks to search the attraction. Dr. Hysteria calmly lets him in. At the same time, Kellen and Lilith arrive near the attraction. Beth rushes inside and finds the Cabinet of Souls. She calls for the sheriff, but it turns out to be just a regular cabinet. Lilith invites Kellen into the VIP area. There's the little theater. It shows viewers whatever they dream of most. Kellen sees himself as a brave knight, with Beth as his beloved. In the video, Kellen heroically defeats his rival Hunter. Kellen's eyes flash bright. Lilith admits that Dr. Hysteria is her father. Then Kellen transforms into a monster. Afterward, Dr. Hysteria gathers the three friends and says the big show is about to start. Hunter visits Beth at home. She tells him what happened to Nicole. He goes with her to the Hall of Horrors. The place is packed with visitors. Beth and Hunter wander into a strange corridor and soon reach the Enchanted Theater. Beth sees a film featuring Hunter and her friends. She has to make the right choice. Beth chooses to stay with her friends. Hunter really doesn't like that. Lilith appears and calls Hunter her brother. Beth tries to run but ends up in a room with an evil witch. She hears Dr. Hysteria's voice in her head again and keeps running. She enters the tent where Clown Luke is performing. Then she runs further, spots some zombies, and hides in a room with another monster. It's Kellen. He freezes for a second, but then Hunter and a couple of zombies grab Beth. Kellen recognizes her, attacks Hunter, fights off the zombies, and escapes with Beth. Beth wants to find Nicole and Luke. Kellen admits his strength is fading, but he'll fight for the girl he loves. The problem is, all the monsters block their path, led by Dr. Hysteria. They capture Beth and Kellen and want to lock them in the Cabinet of Souls with the others. Beth looks at her hypnotized friends in horror. Dr. Hysteria admits she's the strongest in the group. People like her don't become monsters or food, they become part of their immortal family. Suddenly, Beth grabs a bottle of holy water and splashes it on Dr. Hysteria and his kids. They start hissing and disintegrating. The hypnotized people snap out of it. They have to escape fast before everything collapses. Beth, her friends, and Andrea manage to get out of the Cabinet of Souls before midnight strikes. Dr. Hysteria, his children, and the entire carnival get sucked into a portal and vanish. Finally, our heroes can wash off their stamps with the holy water. By the way, Beth found the recipe online and came prepared for the monsters. The cursed Hall of Horrors disappears without a trace, and Kellen finally gathers the courage to kiss Beth. She happily kisses him back.